What's up guys, I'm Roderick aka Rodman and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about the best build from each Souls game. Every build in the Souls games can be very useful, very good and unique, but there are some builds that are more viable for the type of playstyle that varies in each Souls game. If you like retro video gaming, anime, and gameplay videos, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content just like this. So let's get right into the video. The best build to go for in Demon Souls is going to be magic for me, because magic in Demon Souls is actually very versatile. There's a lot of options that you can do when you're doing a magic type build. And if you do a magic build, you have access to some of the most overpowered and useful spells in the game, such as Firestorm and things like that. Most bosses and enemies in the game you can completely melt with spells and whatnot. There's one boss though that is resistant to magic and he can actually use it against you, and that's Old King Allant. But that's towards like the beginning-ish of the game. It's not like you're going to be fighting him late game or anything. But if you are new to the Souls series and this is your first Souls game, which is going to be the case for a lot of people, I would definitely recommend starting off with a magic build. So let's go ahead and move on to Dark Souls 1. The best build to go for in Dark Souls 1 is quite easily, in my opinion, going to be a pyromancy type build. Why? Is because pyromancy is some of the hardest hitting abilities that you can do in Dark Souls 1. On top of that, you're not only going to be using pyromancy, you can go almost like a hybrid type build. So you can have a Zweihander, or you can have a greatsword, and you can also be melting people with pyromancy for more ranged attacks. This build is just way too versatile not to be the best build in the game. If you take a look at people who do soul level 1 builds and things like that, they're using pyromancy, and it's just very it's kind of cheesy almost. I know a lot of times when I play Dark Souls 1, I try not to use pyromancy because it's kind of too good. It's too convenient. You have access to ridiculously strong magic on top of the fact that you hit like a truck with your regular weapons too. That's ridiculous. But let's go ahead and move on to Dark Souls 2. Now, this is the first time in any video where I was genuinely stumped. I did mad research, just trying to see what is just the most versatile, what gives you the most bang for your buck. Dark Souls 2 is a little bit different from the rest of the Souls games because it takes significantly less amount of souls to level up. And what does that mean? That means that you can have more variety with your character. For example, you might be level 70 and it might take like 5,000 souls to level up, which is crazy. So I don't want to say there necessarily is a best build in this game. Every build in this game is just quite strong. But if I did have to choose one, I probably would go with intelligence, like a magic type build, because you have access to very strong spells that home, and then you also have access to very good melee weapons such as the Moonlight Greatsword, which thrive off intelligence obviously. So you can do intelligence strength type builds without even having to really put points to anything else. But let's go ahead and move on to Dark Souls 3. Through and through, I believe that the best build in Dark Souls 3 is going to be a straight up strength type build. Taking a look at the type of combat that Dark Souls 3 has to offer, it's very fast paced. So sometimes you're not going to have the time to charge up magic or anything like that. Sometimes you want to do one big hit and then get out. The reason why I chose strength over dexterity in Dark Souls 3 is because the weapons that you get, for example, is very, very convenient having a weapon like the Fume Ultra Greatsword, which you're getting an insane amount of reach on. You put, fire, lightning damage on it, and you're absolutely melting enemies with it. And it's just very, very I wouldn't say versatile, because you are limited to, great swords and things like that. But when they hit, they hit. And it's really, really, it's a toss up. It's either strength or dexterity, but from my personal experiences playing dexterity builds, it just seems that the weapons that they offer in Dark Souls 3 just aren't up to par with the weapons that they offer for a pure strength build. So that's why I lean more towards a strength build every single time I come back and play this game. But let's go ahead and move on to Bloodborne. The best build to do in Bloodborne is going to be an equality build. If you guys don't know what an equality build is, it's pretty much when you evenly distribute all your stats, specifically with strength and dexterity being evenly matched. Why I say equality is the best build to do in Bloodborne is because a lot of the weapons scale on multiple things. Some of the best weapons scale on multiple things. And on top of that, the nature of Bloodborne is very melee based. And since you have weapons that scale on multiple things, it will make sense to do a more equality type build, so you get more bang for your buck, pretty much. Like, what's the point of doing a full strength build in Bloodborne if every strength weapon also scales on dexterity as well? So you might as well put points in dexterity just so you can be a bit stronger, right? But there's really not a lot of crazy builds you can do in Bloodborne, but I think the best is definitely going to be equality. So let's go ahead and move on to Elden Ring. Just like Dark Souls 2, this was actually really, really hard because Elden Ring, I believe, alongside Dark Souls 2, offers the most versatility, the most weapons, and the most customization that your character can have. But I just really think that the best build to go with is dexterity, especially when you have weapons like Rivers of Blood. And you guys know how I feel about Rivers of Blood. That weapon is insane. Honestly, that's probably the only reason why I'm choosing dexterity over magic. Magic is insane in this game. It was a real toss up between those two, and I'm a strength user. Anytime I can do a pure strength build, that's what I'm gonna go with. But I just have to give it to the Dex players, man. Y'all got it in Elden Ring. Like, the Rivers of Blood, Uchi-Katana, Samurai, hero builds are just insane. The damage output is insane. The mobility is insane. It's just thick, the best build in this game. Like I say, if you want to say magic is the best build, I wouldn't be too upset about that. But dexterity is taking the cake for me. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you like retro video gaming, anime, and gameplay videos, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more content just like this. Ramen out. Peace.